Hi, this is Tony Wade, the Compassionate Investor, and I'm excited about today's episode because we are talking about furnishing your transitional housing property. Now, you're at one of my favorite spots in being able to do this, and it is Central States Liquidation out here in Fairmont, Illinois. Now, I'm telling you, the stuff we're about to cover today, if you're wanting to get into this space, you want to find a spot where you can get some really good quality furniture that's affordable, this is where you want to come. Hi, this is Tony Wade, the Compassionate Investor, and we are talking about furnishing your transitional housing property. Now, I'm sitting here with the wonderful Frank, because Frank and we've been together for a long time. I actually met him. I actually met your daughter first, I think, right?
Jada.
I met Jada first, and from that point on, and that had to have been at least 6 years ago, it feels like.
It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a long time. And you and I have done a lot of business together over the years. Yeah. So my desire today is for you guys to get a chance just to sort of see what we've got going on, sort of how we got to know each other, and then what he does here in this business. So tell me, Frank, how long have you been doing hotel liquidation?
About 14 years now.
Oh my gosh, I didn't realize it was that long.
It's been a while.
Yeah. So I guess doing that type of business, do you just do it locally here? Do you go across the country?
We go everywhere. We've been to Boston. We've been to San Francisco. We've been to Key West, Florida. We've been to North Dakota and all in between.
Wow. So in doing all of that work, do you only have the one location here, or do you have other locations?
Just one location.
Okay. So you bring those from other locations back here. Now, this facility here, if you ever get a chance to come out here to Central States Liquidation out here in Illinois, it is a massive property. How many square feet would you say you have here?
Right at 100,000.
So 100,000 square feet of furnishings. Like every time I come, I have to block my day out just to make sure I can get a chance to see the things that I can see. Because not only do I have the opportunity to get things just for the rooms that we rent out, but I do it for personal things as well, because he has a little bit of everything, which you should be able to see some of that on this show. So you'll actually go to those locations and bring them all here.
Yes.
Now, is there anything in particular, like when you go and because you have to take everything from the hotel, right?
We completely clean the rooms out.
Okay. And pretty much everything here?
We do high-end hotels, but we don't mess with the low-end. We do the Hiltons, the Marriotts, the Westons.
Yeah.
Super 8 and all that. And below that, we don't mess with. We just choose. If it isn't resellable, we won't take it.
Yeah, and that's what I think. That's why I love coming to your spot, because you could go to the Havertys or you could go to Carroll House and look at all of their high-end stuff, but you got a mix of high-end stuff here too, along with the things that you just need basically to.
Thomasville furniture, brand new. That's we've liquidated from other furniture companies.
Oh, I didn't know you did that too.
Oh yes.
Oh, wow. So in this space, and I wanted you guys to get a chance to meet Frank, because I'm really catering specifically to those people who are out here in St. Louis. Now, if you're wanting to come from other areas, you're welcome to come. Just bring your truck. But the one thing I love about Frank, because he'll always negotiate with you. He'll always make a deal work for you. And I can say over the years, even when we first got started, you made the deals work for me.
I remember when you were poor.
He remembers when I was poor. Can I share some, like back in the day?
Yeah.
Because I remember the one time, because it was like, I think you got me, that's why I was like, I couldn't believe, for $250 for everything. I think that's as low as you got me, just starting off, where I could get an entire room, and an entire room was the bed, the frame, the desk, the chair, the nightstand, the picture, the lamp. All of that stuff for $250, and we were able to do that. And we would come and do like packages. So I wouldn't just come and get one room at a time. We'd try to come get everything in one big swoop. Now, I think at one time you actually delivered for me. Remember that?
I remember. That's when I was poor.
Right. And I don't think Frank was happy with me then, because that was when we were at the Hamilton property, and we had
big steps going up to it.
Yep, and all that heavy furniture.
Yep.
Now, that was when furniture was real heavy. The furniture has changed over the years, though.
Somewhat.
It's not
hotel furniture is built pretty good. Most of it's solid wood. It's built to last.
Yeah. And I think that's
Take up
why,
use.
yeah, I think that's why I like working with the hotel furniture, because do you know that in our Hamilton property, we still have the same furniture when we started? And that was years ago. It's been at least 6, 7 years. And, you know, it's still durable. Those dressers, still durable. They're not going to fail. Now, we've changed the bed out maybe once or twice, but they are durable. So that's the one thing I can say. You're going to get good quality furniture here at Frank's spot at Central States Liquidation. But what I want to say to the people here in St. Louis, if you're open to it, Frank, because I want the people who are learning from us how to do transitional housing to come see Frank here. It's in Illinois. Can you say the
5401 Collinsville Road, Fairmont City, Illinois, exit 6 off the Interstate 5570.
Thank
We're
you.
open Wednesday through Saturday, 10 to 4.
Perfect. I want you to come out
You
here.
won't beat my price, I guarantee it.
You will not be, there will be nobody that can beat his prices. That's why I come back. I come back all the time. And even though because the prices have gone up because of inflation, the mattresses weren't what they used to be. I think back then we were getting mattresses for like $50 a mattress, right?
Yeah, back in the day, yeah.
Now it's not
I got
possible.
them for 99 for queen size right now.
They're 99 now?
$99.
I might be picking a few of those up while I'm here.
Mattress box spring.
Yeah, I'm picking a few of those up. So I want to encourage you to come out, see his spot, see what he has here. You're going to see some of the pictures and see everything that he has, because it is amazing you could find something that works for you, and he'll negotiate with you. And if you don't get him, you'll get his sister-in-law.
Well, my wife, Sherry.
Sherry, did I meet Sherry? I didn't know. Oh,
You did.
well, I thought it was your sister-in-law with the dark hair.
That's my sister, Joanne. Yeah, she's
Joanne.
retired now.
Oh, okay. That's who I had before, because I know I worked with her all the time. So now I'll get a chance to then meet with your wife. But just come here. If you don't get Frank, you'll meet with his wife. He's got a wonderful team here that makes sure you're taken care of. They'll help load your vehicle. And if you're willing, Frank, because people are going to come out and check out your spot. And the Tony special.
Mention Tony and we'll make you a hell of a deal.
All right. So be sure to mention Tony or the Compassionate Investor, because he'll make you a great deal. Even if you're not getting furniture for transitional housing, you just have something that's a need, just mention my name and he'll make sure he'll take care of you. And we're talking today specifically about how you furnish your transitional housing property. Now, let me tell you, it's like a candy store in this place. You could see we have tons and tons of mattresses that we get to choose from. I typically do and always do full size. I never do anything bigger than a full size, because that's going to encourage them to have people stay the night. So we do a full size, and we don't do twins because, most people are in a larger size these days. So it allows for us to be able to accommodate most people with a full size bed. So as you can see, we got tons that we choose from, and you definitely want to make sure you have a mattress. You want to make sure you get the frame, and then you're going to have your dresser. Now, if you'll see here, he's got a variety of different things that he offers, because when I think about getting a dresser and all the other components that I have, he actually has these set up already with everything that you need. Now, I don't typically do headboards personally. Now, you're welcome to do a headboard. It makes it a little more, homey feel. But from my experience, because we did start doing headboards, it doesn't work over time, because, if they're the ones that move, because we used to do the ones that you mount on the wall, it is what it is. I didn't like putting those holes in my wall. So we got to the point where we stopped doing the headboards altogether. But you can typically get a set like this for just like a small amount of money. I think he has like $329 for this whole set. But those are the type of things that you're going to want to make sure you have. You'll have a mattress, a bed frame, a desk, a chair, a lamp, a nightstand, and pictures. And we used to have like a flat fee that he would charge me for all that. Mostly the ones that he has set up here that includes a headboard, he's doing for like $329. And these are great things to look at. Now let me show you a few other things that I like to look for when I'm looking at property. Or I'm sorry, not property, but furniture. Because and it just depends. I'm trying to see if I have one that I can show you. Because I do like lamps when we get a certain type of lamp, we always want to get the lamp that has the plugs in it. Because if you notice, when you're in most homes, you only have so many plugs that they can use, and you want to make sure that there are plugs by their bedside so they can plug their phones up. Just like if you're at a hotel, that's typical things that you would have. But we like to make sure we get those. We like to make sure that the pictures that we use are just general from room to room. That's why we sort of do the rooms exactly the same. They're all set up the same. So when you do it like that, you really can just meet the needs of the individuals that they have for that right at that moment. They don't need much. They just need to make sure they have a safe place to live, and B, without worrying about paying a lot of money for living. So those are the type of things that I think about as we furnish the rooms and get them ready. Now, a couple other things I will point out, because the mattresses, as I said, there's a range. When we first started out, we actually got the ones that he just refreshed, because as he got them from the hotel, he has a process that he follows to refresh the mattresses. I want to tell you, make sure that you're getting a good refresh on the mattresses. I have not had one problem with Frank's mattresses since we've been doing business together. So if you're going to find somebody in your community that you're going to work with, make sure you're checking out the furniture and the mattresses to make sure you're not getting bed bugs, because they are running rampant in various cities. So make sure you're checking to make sure you're not purchasing property that's like that. But see, that's why I like finding an establishment that I know I can work with, one that's like not a large like liquidation place where it's like a big establishment, but one that's like this, because Frank, it makes him more negotiable with me as we work this together. So that's why I say make sure you get with somebody who you can trust and build a relationship as you are looking for that furniture. So as we walk a little more, because I want to show you one other step, I want to show you that some of the desks are different. And when we first started, because I like them to have a desk in their room only because, now this is a nice basic desk. I would do something like this in their room. The ones that we have now are a little larger, but you want to give them a place where they can be and not always have to be on their bed. So we always get a nice basic desk. And actually the one that we had was a little more fancier, but it was a nicer desk. But you want to give them a desk, and we give them a rolly chair. Now, why I give them a rolly chair? Because those work better than the ones that can dig in the floor. And depending on what type of flooring you have, it can make it very difficult for them to be able to move, and they last for a long time. And that's why I think I like working with hotel liquidation the most, because this furniture is made to last. It's not like that stuff you buy off of IKEA. Y'all know about IKEA. That furniture don't last worth nothing. But if you go with a hotel liquidation facility or company, then they're going to make sure that you're getting quality furniture that's going to last. As I said before, we've been with Frank for easily 6 years, and we have not had to refresh other than a mattress or two when a mattress got stained. So those are the type of things that you should be thinking about as you're looking to furnish your properties. Now, there's a few things I want you to consider, and I want to make sure you understand. I talked about it in one of the other segments, but I want to make sure you understand when you're dealing with getting your furniture, you really want to make sure you're getting it from a reputable company, someplace that you're going to make sure that it's not going to have bed bugs. I cannot stress that enough, because we are dealing with a bed bug epidemic in St. Louis. There's a lot of places that have bed bugs, and you do not want to get a lot of used furniture from Marketplace or from all the other sites where you're buying used furniture from people, because unless you know what you're looking for. And you have to know, like when you look in the corners of furniture, because that's what we do. We'll look in the corners on the mattress for sure. Those are high indicators of bed bugs. But then also in the furniture, if you turn it upside down, you'll see indications of bed bugs. But to just avoid that altogether, get a reputable company that you can work with and trust. It took me a minute to get Frank. We were doing this work for 14 years. So I just found Frank 6 years ago. So you could imagine what we were running into. And I want to try to help you prevent some of the same issues that we had when we got our furniture. So make sure you go with a reputable company. And worst case, if you don't, then at least make sure you're checking to make sure that there are no bed bugs in the property or in the furniture, and that it has and it's a good quality. Cause like I was just saying about quality, this table here, this is Frank's stuff. Quality, it's heavy. because he got it clearly. He has good quality stuff. That's why I love his stuff. I will never have to buy again once I buy from him, unless something just fully breaks after years or going out of style or out of use. So I'm telling you, you want to make sure you get with someone good like that. Now, let's talk about, because when you talk about furnishing your facility, you have to also think about security. Because to me, when I'm looking at getting a property ready, that is one of the things that I do, is I make sure that we have a really great camera security system in place as we're setting up the property. Now, depending on how it's laid out, because you could have a duplex, a fourplex, or single family home, but I always like to make sure that my property is covered inside and out. I don't just look at the outside and make sure I got coverage there. I make sure that the inside is looking for what I need it to do. So first of all, when you're talking about the outside cameras, I always like to have one on the front. If you have multiple doors, then you're going to need a camera on multiple doors or in between doors so you can see where people are moving or where they're moving in and out of the building. That's really important. So making sure you got good sight outside and also on the back on the outside. Now, I typically like to look, when I put my cameras, I put it near the air conditioning units. Those of you who are in like a inner city, y'all know what I'm talking about. People steal air conditioning units all day long. So I'm always protecting my air conditioning units and making sure that nobody's stealing those. And then I put a camera on the door. So if you can find a view or a line of sight that allows you to see your air conditioning and your back door, then that's wonderful. That's really what you want. But I make sure my outside has the visual that I need. And then the inside, I like to just make sure that the cameras are where I've got a line of sight and I see every door. And I know that's hard to do. It just depends on how the house is laid out. But think of it like this. Your job is to be able to see when that camera's on, you can see who's going in whose room, because you have guidelines that you're setting up to make sure that people follow. And you want to know who is having frequent visitors. You want to see who's coming in and out for who, because you don't know everybody, but you want to be able to make sure you're managing that property. And the security system allows for us to be able to manage really well. Now, we typically average somewhere between 2, 3, maybe no more than 3 cameras outside. 2 is typical. And then on the inside, 1, 2, we have 2 to 3 cameras on the inside. So you're going to pay a pretty penny for this camera system, but I promise you it's going to be worth it. And let me tell you why. We manage our properties practically virtually. So, we have our team, we have people who are doing their parts with the messaging that goes out, but to be in good position to manage your property, you need to have sight of what's going on, or at least the perception of sight. And I'm going to tell you a story in just a minute. But at the end of the day, you want to make sure that the system that you get and you spend good money for, it helps you do your job well. Who wants to run back and forth to a property if you're 30, 40 miles away? Or even if you're up the street, you don't want to get up and go manage a property when you don't have to. That's what cameras are for. And we actually like to do audio on our cameras. They don't know we have audio, but why do we have audio in the common areas? Now, mind you, the cameras are only in the common areas. You don't have cameras in the bathroom. You don't have cameras in people's bedrooms. That's illegal. But you put the cameras in the spots that are common, and by doing that and having audio that nobody knows about, you are privy to conversations just to make sure if there's something you need to be hearing and knowing about, you're aware of it. And I never let them know that I know. Never. I'll talk to somebody and I'll ask a conversation and get them to tell me, but I'll never let them know that we have cameras. But that's why I say you want to make sure that you use these cameras to help you manage. And I'm also going to tell you, don't get those wireless cameras. Been there, done that. Wise, all the little, not to just call them out, but there's so many other cameras that are wireless out there. The moment the internet goes out, your camera goes out. Or if someone wants to be spiteful and do something with the cord, now you've got an issue with that. But we've got actually guidelines in place to make sure that they understand you can't tamper with the camera regardless of whether it's wired or not. They can't be tampered with, or you can risk being ejected from the program. Those are the type of things that we do to manage our properties. So make sure you get a good wired system. You're going to spend anywhere from $3,000 to $4,000 on a good camera system, depending on how many cameras you get. And they're going to be sturdy. You're going to have a DVR. You're going to have ways in which you got 24/7 camera footage of whatever happened days ago. That's why that's so critical for you to have, is a good camera system. So as you're looking at furnishing your facility, don't miss these considerations. You must make sure you get someone who's going to give you quality furniture, and you want to make sure that you get a very good security system. Hope you got some good stuff from that last segment. Funny story, because it was when we were talking about the cameras, I got to tell you the funny story about the guy who thought that we didn't know what was going on at the property. So he literally, like, we record, and he went up and messed with the camera and covered it up so we couldn't see whatever was going on, laughed, did whatever he wanted to, and then came back and uncovered it, and then swore up and down that wasn't him. And mind you, got cameras. Is your face showing up covering my camera? So like, you should have been at least smart enough to like hide, go around it and like put something over it, not let us see that it's you. But anyway, it was such a funny story talking about cameras. But I enjoyed talking about this particular episode because furnishing the properties is critical to you being able to be successful. You want to make sure that everything is uniform and is exactly the way people can just simply come in. That way you're not fighting over who gets what room. I want that one because it's a king bed. No, I want that one because it's got the better dresser. Like, who cares? Keep it simple, stupid, and making sure that property is safe and secure so you can successfully manage your property. So, hope you got some good stuff. I am Tony Wade, the Compassionate Investor. You can find me on Facebook. You can find me on LinkedIn. You can find me on Twitter. But I want you to simply just come find me, because we've got so much information to share with you. In addition to the transitional housing stuff, you've got so many other things that we talk about. I also want you to join my Facebook group, which is Transitional Housing Maximize Collective. We put new information out there talking about how we can end homelessness, and I'm just excited to have you on this journey with me as we talk about transforming lives, because transformed lives transform the world, and so it is.